Good morning. This is Brian Etchison with you here. Welcome to the BCB Recruiting Show. And first of all, I want to say a big thank you during this National Driver Appreciation Week. We can't do it without you. Matter of fact, over 80% of our freight is moved somehow by a driver out there. So we just couldn't make it out here without our drivers. Today on the show, we have some special guests. I have some sitting right next to me. They're going to be in the driver spotlight. It's James and Leslie Warner, and we're going to get a chance to visit with them a little bit about the trucking industry and profitability. But before we do that, let me go down and give you a rundown of our show today. We'll be going through a video with our owners, Brian Brzezowski and Rick Larkin, kind of give you an overview of BCB, how it got started. Then we'll also have a short overview of from one of our company drivers, how his idea of our company culture and our safety culture of BCB. We'll have also our driver spotlight with James and Leslie, our special guests. After that, we'll be talking to John Pelotti, who will be talking about the comfort and safety of our trucks. And then I've got a special guest, Scott Shapiro, who will be talking about our operational system and how it will make you successful and profitable here at BCB. And then we'll close with a question and answer session. And that's it. And we'll get started with our owners on a quick overview.
I am Rick Larkin, co-owner of BCB Transport, co-founder of BCB Transport. BCB is located in Mansfield, Texas. We started with a vision back about 11 years ago. Big Blue, Brian Brzezowski, and myself, we came to the conclusion one day that it was time to start our own trucking company. So we began with 0 drivers, 0 trucks, nothing. And here we are today at nearly 300 tractors. BCB Transport today runs freight for FedEx, for Whirlpool. We run it for Dart, for Solo Cup, for Train Industries, Chick-fil-A, McDonald's. Our customer base is very broad, and nobody really has more than 10% of our business today. So BCB Transport has expanded in many ways. We've purchased some companies. We've opened up operations in Colorado, Oklahoma City, Carlisle, Pennsylvania. We are always looking for the right opportunity. Although we're a trucking company, what we really do is safety. It stands for be safe, communicate, be on time. Orientation at BCB Transport is really getting our drivers in here to get them to understand what we value. And number one, we're going to place value on life. We're going to place value on the lives of our drivers. It takes a minute to understand that, but we're also going to bring them in and teach them how to use the electronic logs, to teach them how to be successful. We know that drivers know how to be successful, but it's also important for them to learn how to be successful here at this company.
My name is Brian Brzezowski with BCB Transport. I'm a co-owner. BCB Transport is a trucking company that transports reefer and dry freight all over the continental U.S. We have brokerage, we have warehousing, and additional services, air, truck, train, plane, we got it. Some of the challenges I would say was, hiring drivers, retaining good customers, getting good customers. And how have we got past that? Well, we've put more qualified people in place. We've got salesmen now with 50 years of experience. We have a recruiter that has 25 years of experience that leads our organization on that side. So we put the right people in the right places to overcome challenge. For the operations side, on the trucking side, would be Scott Shapiro. He does all the trucking operations. Matt McClister does all the brokerage operation. Ed Eldridge and Jesse Rodriguez are our top salesmen. Brian Etchison leads the way with the recruiting. David Schumann is in the EDI department, heading that up. Shelly Brown in HR leads that department, and Rick and myself oversee all the operations from there.
I really enjoy the atmosphere that we have. It truly is a family company. It's our drivers, our office. Everybody in this company really does care about one another. Trucking is the backbone of this country. We saw what trucking did during COVID. When drivers across America stepped up in a time when the nation needed us to move product across this country. Listen, this industry is not going anywhere. We're going to be maybe a little bit more regionalized, but what we do is absolutely paramount to the success of this country's survival.
safety culture of the company I work with is the strongest safety culture that I have seen in all the trucking companies I've been involved with and all the trucking companies I know about. In this company, it's very different. They have a show that they put on twice a day. It's interactive and you can play off of one another. Each of the drivers can ask questions, they can make comments. The topics are different, and usually they have a theme for the week that they're going through. So the live aspect of the show, I think, is what makes the culture of this company very different. They're talking about things that you are able to participate in if you choose to do so. All you have to do is press a button on your phone, raise your hand, and they'll call on you.
Hey, good Monday morning. Welcome to Safety Struck, coming to you live from Studio A of beautiful BCB Terminal.
The first wave moved through Kansas City. We put this in motion. You can see it's all kind of moving straight, almost at a nice 45 south.
It's imperative that, you know, if we see the trailer 3 to 4 weeks out, give us a call.
Hey, a big welcome back to all our listeners. This is Brian Etchison here again with you. And today we have some very special guests, James and Leslie Warner. They're very near and dear to my heart. They've been here a long time. And matter of fact, they're very, very successful as owner-operators with our company. And we're going to just spend a few minutes with both James and Leslie about their success here at BCB and see if there might be some helpful information that you might receive in making a decision to come and join us here. Welcome. Good morning.
Thanks. Good morning.
Good morning.
You know, I remember the first time when you guys came here, and I was so impressed with all the knowledge. You know, I know we sat down in my office, we talked about business a lot and numbers, and you guys blew me away. I said, "Wow!" I said, "People after my own heart. They know the numbers.
Yes.
They know the numbers.
You have to.
You
have to know the numbers.
And you have to keep track of them, and you have to stay on top of them and make sure this is going the way it's supposed to be going in the direction that you're trying to go.
Right. Well,
Always.
a dear friend of mine once said, "Brian, trust in God, others bring data." So I've tried to live by that. First of all, I'm going to ask you a few questions we're going to talk about. But my first thing I was thinking about was share a little bit with our listeners on how both of you got started teaming, how you both got started.
Well, we got married 38 years ago.
38 years. You're almost up there with me.
Yeah.
Wow, that's good. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
38 years ago. And James, his dad drove a truck, so I always knew he was going to.
Uh-huh.
So he's been driving for 35 years, and I've been driving for 33.
Wow.
It's kind of a given.
Uh-huh.
So
I was driving a cab over, pulling meat out of Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
Uh-huh.
And old boy said he'd give me a hood
if I started
Was
driving.
that an international cab over by chance?
Yeah.
3406 Cab B?
No,
Oh,
no,
okay.
no, that little
Nothing
Cummins
so
in.
special.
fancy then,
Okay.
no.
Okay.
That'd be a
No,
fancy truck.
No, we were pulling for Stevens Honey Farm out of Pecan Gap, Texas.
Okay.
Leased the action carriers out of Sioux Falls.
Uh-huh.
But they said they'd give him a big fancy truck if I started
Give me a
riding with
hood.
him.
Oh,
And
big
I would
fancy
drive.
truck.
Yeah.
Was that a conventional?
Yeah, with a big stand-up. The old school Freightliner with a big stand-up sleeper on it.
Right.
Walk-in stand-up, and everybody's like, "That's a nice truck, too."
And that's back when people were just starting to transition over from the cab over.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because the cab
Pretty
over
much.
was a big deal. International was a big deal back then.
But they didn't want me in a cab over because, that would hurt my legs.
Well, I learned in a cab over
Yeah.
myself.
Yeah.
I
That's
took
what
my
I learned
test
in.
in a cab over.
That's what I learned in the cab over.
Yeah.
Now I can't crawl up in a cab. I couldn't pull myself
No,
out of a
no,
cab.
no.
I was at a shop not too long ago. They had a cab over in there, and I went to crawl up in it, and I was like, "Oh, wait a minute. I need back in my hood."
Oh, yes, yes. Well, that's interesting. You bring back memories there with the cab over.
Yeah.
It's hard to get up in them.
Well, how long have both of you been here at BCB? Share for our listeners how long you've been here, and I guess the other thing is what keeps you here at BCB. I know you have a lot of choices, just like all of our listeners out there. They're contacted a lot, about joining their company, and you have to make choices, and how. Just share a little bit about how long you've been here, and why you stay. I mean, what's the
Well,
reason
we've
you
been here
stay?
almost 5 years, and there's a lot of reasons we stay. We stay for the home time.
Uh-huh.
We're home almost every weekend. We stay because most of the loads are drop and hook.
Mhm.
They're light loads. We love the freight lanes, but most of all, we stay for the people. We
Mhm.
like the people
Yeah,
here.
the people that work here, they've talked to us. They're decent to us. They treat us decent. We have a great safety culture that says, hey, you don't need to drive like crazy out here.
No.
You can drive normal.
If there's an issue, call us. We've rarely had a problem here. Everybody loves. I tell people when you call and when you meet the people here, I tell them they're so nice. You're gonna think at first that they're fake nice,
Right.
but they're really, really that nice.
Right.
You know, but you kind of have to warn them that at first you're gonna think that they're fake nice, but they're really that nice.
I will say this though, you guys make it easy to be nice. I mean, you do such a good job with your service, your safety, your professionalism. It's just you guys are really awesome.
Well, when you work with great people, it's easy to.
And it's probably something that people should realize in trucking, that these are relationships you have to build with people.
And they should be professional relationships.
Yeah, that's right.
And friendly professional relationships. And if you are going to be arguing with your dispatcher every time you turn around, you're not going to be successful. You know?
Right. Do you have those keys?
Oh yeah. Is that what you're looking for?
Did you steal Dover's keys?
No, not those. Not those.
We have a special guest, David Dover, who just walked into the.
Because James stole his keys.
I stole his keys.
For some reason, I want to sing YMCA.
Sorry about that. I forgot I had those in my pocket.
We have another special guest that just dropped in. John Pelosi.
I don't think we've ever met him.
His nickname is Burger King today. Burger King, it's a Whataburger shirt. So
this is Texas.
The relationship, right?
Right. Yeah, it's the relationship.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, and people forget in trucking that this is a professional job.
Yes.
If you dress for success,
right.
Keep your truck clean.
Keep your truck clean. That's a lot of it. Right. You can't be rolling around looking like trash. You can't be walking around looking like trash. You can't.
That's our director of maintenance.
Wow.
He's got a special hat on today.
He's the king of it. So
yes.
Yeah. A lot of it's the professional relationships that you build everywhere.
Right. Right. So the trucking business environment right now has been just turned upside down with everything that's going on. Carriers and independent contractors such as yourself, are really being challenged this year with low rates. You hear about the low rates that are out there, rising fuel costs, truck parts availability. I mean, that's been horrible, and then just general inflation. The challenges with general inflation. What advice do you have for other independent contractors such as yourselves? And it could be even company drivers. We talk about maintaining profitability, but also, for that company driver out there just trying to get by out there on the road, and keep their expenses low.
Well, I think leasing to a company like BCB, because they keep your fuel costs pretty low, to be honest with you, and y'all pretty much pull light loads, so that keeps your maintenance down as long as you keep on top of it. Do a good pre-trip inspection, make sure your equipment is up to par.
Maintain proper tire pressures.
So you mentioned a pre-trip. Tell me how you use that pre-trip to keep your expenses low.
Your tires, first of all, I mean, that's right out there in front of your face is your tires.
That's your number one.
That's your number one thing. Another thing is, if you've got a problem, if you just go ahead and fix it, you're not sitting on. You don't make any money sitting on the side of the road,
right?
Waiting on somebody to come and fix something.
And tow trucks are expensive.
And they're ridiculously expensive. A tow truck is ridiculously expensive, and you lose money.
Yeah. Well, and we have a shop that's local. Local shops are way less expensive than dealerships. We haven't had any problems with parts availability. I don't know. Maybe Volvos do. Kenworth's genuine. We haven't had any problems with that.
With Kenworth, we haven't had any problems, but
we run 2 refrigerators in our truck. I meal prep at home. We don't eat out. We don't eat in truck stops.
Right.
If we do eat out, it's planned.
It's a plan.
We say this is what we're going to go.
There's a few restaurants near a few places that we unload or drop loads that we like to eat at. So we plan those.
Yeah. So no one plans to fail. They just fail to plan.
Yeah. I mean, things happen though.
Right.
Now, how I am with money. our money
Yes.
is a lot less right now than it normally is.
Absolutely.
because we're paying
Um,
for higher fuel. But
Right.
and where the loads are a little less, everything's just a little less right now.
Yes,
You know what
it
I'm
is.
saying?
Yes.
So is everything where I want it to be right now? No.
Right.
Are we getting by? Yes.
Right.
and I know a lot of people that are in a lot worse shape trying
Oh
to do
yeah.
it,
Yeah, there's a lot of
not
people
being
in a lot
leased
worse
onto
shape.
somebody.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, being leased onto somebody helps a lot right now.
Right. Well, I talked to a lot of contractors and company drivers, and right now I'm hearing from a lot of independents, that have their own authority, and 2 years ago, they had the cat by the tail, of course,
Sure.
and rates were high, and then the fuel was low, and really, what's interesting about that is a lot of those guys were successful, but they weren't even paying attention to
They
the
didn't
numbers.
plan ahead.
They didn't even know their numbers.
Well, there's an old saying about a fast nickel and a slow, or what is it, a fast dime and a slow nickel?
Uh-huh.
I'll take a slow
We'll take
nickel.
a slow nickels.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean,
And that's part of being leased
To be
here
consistent, yeah.
is our truck is spec'd to be leased here. We
Right.
bought this truck specifically to kind of be leased to BCB.
we had the
and
black
what's
truck when we came here.
Right.
And
Yeah.
when we bought the orange truck, we talked to y'all. We said,
Yeah.
look, we're specking this truck to stay here.
Right.
We've got the economy 450 in it.
Right.
It's not spec to haul heavy loads.
Mhm.
I mean, we can haul them, but it's spec to haul the lighter loads that we
Mhm.
haul here.
Mhm.
Which makes
So-
a big difference.
And what's interesting, you talk about specs, and that's one of the conversations I end up having with some people. I mean, because I ask questions about their truck.
Yeah.
And
A 600 wouldn't do us any good here.
Yeah.
What am I going to do with a big
18 speed and a
18 speed
600
and all that
and
stuff
a
hauling these
extended
dry
hood.
vans? I mean,
Right.
that's not doing me any good.
No.
Yeah, and their truck, they want to bring their truck here, and I see, there's only so much we can do with your truck because of the fuel economy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You're gonna have a rough road to go.
Yeah.
With that
Yeah.
fuel cut. Now it worked in the prior environment you were in, but you were so isolated, and if everything goes south, you don't have a lot of choices.
When
Yeah.
we went to buy that truck, because we did call and talk to you guys about it and
Yeah.
say, hey, this is, we're looking into a new truck. So we're walking through Kenworth lot, and there's that big W9.
Yeah.
It's, and I looked at this hood and I went, all I could see was dollar signs. When I looked at it, like, there goes all the dollars out of my pocket.
Yeah.
I said, we can buy that.
I
We
mean,
can.
I can buy any truck I want
but
to.
there goes our cruises. There goes our vacations.
Yeah.
There goes
There goes
because
your
it's
time at
going.
home.
It's going right in the fuel tank.
But you get a special belt buckle.
I got jacket. I know
We
the
got
guys at
jackets.
MHC. I got jackets. I got hats. I got
Yeah.
shirts. I got all
We
kinds
mugged
of
them.
stuff. Yeah.
Right,
I know the
right,
parts guy. I
right,
get all
right.
kinds of stuff.
So what are some other areas of profitability that you would suggest for
Slowing down.
Slowing down, yes.
Absolutely. At this, especially, I mean, a lot of things that they do on the safety show.
Mm-hmm.
Keep your following distance. Drive.
Talk a little bit about the safety show and how what that might mean for. I mean, I know a lot of guys from the driver perspective. We give a little incentive to be on the show, just to participate. I call it a participation trophy.
Sure.
8 times a month, but we have a lot of drivers that are on that show on a regular basis every day, and I think it's more than just safety, isn't it?
I guess. Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of good tips on there, and
We try to give our part, but usually,
we're
I just kind of stay to myself. I don't know.
yeah.
I don't got no problem with them.
But yeah, it's you have to listen to that stuff too.
Yeah.
And the old school guys are kind of slower to come around to all that. It's the same
Mhm.
stuff he's been preaching at me for
Mhm.
the last 30 years,
Mhm.
but he doesn't want anybody telling him that.
Right. James, you just mentioned something about slowing down, and old timers, and one of our old timers, and he wasn't breaking any speed laws out there or
No.
anything. There was
Right.
no evidence of that as far
Yeah.
as the safety record. But he made a conscious decision to slow down,
So
and when he was surprised on a couple of areas. One is that the myth was he was going to lose miles. Didn't happen. And number two, he was going to lose money. and his revenue went up. He was surprised. He was actually making more money, for about $300 a week, I think it worked out to be, and he didn't lose any miles, and he was just surprised.
Well, honestly, a guy told me, a guy we used to drive for, he had the big hoods and the big show trucks.
Yeah.
We
drove show trucks from Muirhead out of Gun Barrel City before.
And for every half a mile per gallon, it's about $10,000 a year.
Mm-hmm.
And
it is.
It is.
I agree with you.
It is. So
So if you got a truck that's getting 6 miles to a gallon versus a truck that's getting 8 miles to a gallon, you're going to make a lot more money with 8 than you are 6.
And go ahead.
And the way that I understood it was that's how your surcharge is based on a 6 mile per gallon. Is how I don't know the whole math to it. Don't get me wrong, but that's the way I understood it.
Yeah.
If you've got a truck getting over 6 miles per gallon, your surcharge will eventually start paying for your fuel.
Yes,
and probably paying you. We've actually run it with you when we run with you guys. We've actually made it to where we
make money. We make money off the fuel surcharge.
There is actually a way that you can make. I always tell people, you can actually have a little margin on the fuel surcharge if you're doing well with your fuel economy, and more importantly, not that you're going to get wealthy or anything. Off the surcharge if fuel goes up, but you're going to be on the right side of the fence, and you are going to notice that your net income is going to go up. You are going to notice a slight increase.
And the whole thing is your stress level is going to go down.
Yes.
Or at the very least, whenever the fuel prices went up, if you can stay where your fuel surcharge is helping you, you don't lose that. How am I trying to say this? You don't. Let's say you make $800 and your surcharge is $200. Just example. You don't have to go into that. You don't have to spend part of that $200 now.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's right.
You're breaking even.
You're
not losing a bunch. You're not
break
losing
even.
a bunch.
There you go.
Yeah. So in closing, what are some safety tips that you might have for our listeners that you practice on a daily basis from origin to destination?
Well, a good pre-trip, honestly, is first and foremost, because your tires, proper inflation of your tires, that's first and foremost. Because if you're not rolling, you're not safe.
Gotcha.
You don't want a front tire blowout. I mean, you can't have that. And then your proper following distance, and you've got to be looking ahead.
Yes.
You've got to be looking ahead. People are freaking nuts.
Because if you're in traffic, say in Dallas, and you're right on somebody's bumper, now you're hitting the brake. Next thing you know, you got to put a set of brakes on your truck.
Yep.
We put a set of brakes on our truck at what, $750?
Yeah, 750, 800,000.
And every time you brake, you're paying for additional fuel.
Yes.
You've already paid for that.
Now you got to start again.
Yeah, you
got to start all over again. Yeah. If you can
Well,
just kind of stay back.
And we have a 13 speed. So that's another time I have to put my leg on.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Okay. Well, hey, thanks for coming in. I really appreciate it. And we're gonna close here, take a commercial break, and when we come back, we're gonna have John Pelotti.
My name is Lonnie Payne. My name is Lonnie Payne. I'm a 31-year veteran of the industry. I've got 3 million plus miles under my belt so far. It's just very important to be safe in what we do, in everything we do. My company has a very unique safety culture. It's probably the best that I've ever seen in the industry, anywhere that I've been. They don't just talk about safety, they put things into action for us. I mean, they take it very seriously. It is paramount to everything we do. Protecting life is the most important thing that we do. We come to work with that in mind. When we get behind the wheel, that's the first thing that's in mind. A couple of examples is we have a safety show that the drivers can tune into and sign on to, and we can listen, we can participate in it. They give us a lot of tools to help us be better, become better, help us stay on top of our game. We have videos where we can watch ourselves, critique ourselves, get better.
Round two, do it. Clank, 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 clank,
Yeah,
clank. Where's the sound effects at, producer?
We love doing it. We love doing it for you because we want to provide you with something that you enjoy. and you get the message of safety. And we got to do it, and we want to make sure that it's both. I mean, we want this to be a place you want to come to. We want safety to be cool. We want it to congregate here. This is your show. Remember that. This is about you. This is for you. And most of all, this is because of you out there on the road. And we talk about it. You can participate. You can raise your hand. You can send a cool message about how cool I look today. All of these things out there can happen. But we want you to be a part of this program. It's the only way we're going to get better.
Good morning and welcome back. I've got John Pelotti here with our equipment department, Director of Maintenance and Equipment. And John, we're a matter of fact, John, I love that hat. Tell us a little bit about that hat.
Well, it's Funky Hat Day, right?
Right.
It's one of the days of driver appreciation. And this was a choice of two, only because my wife had the other one at her school in the classroom and she didn't bring it home last night. So this one I pulled out of her closet.
And tell us about the shirt.
Oh, this is a Magellan fishing shirt that one of my daughters got me for Father's Day. And
look at it.
It's kind of patriotic looking on the back.
And that's a definite Texas shirt, by the way.
And it's Whataburger.
Whataburger. So
Magellan and Whataburger kind of teamed up to do a little marketing.
It looks
thing.
like you're in conflict between Whataburger and Burger King.
Well, quite possibly. It's burgers either way.
Burgers either way.
Give me the beef, right?
Yeah,
where's the beef?
And you got my vote for hat of the day. That's for sure. I think you're going to win.
Well, this is what it is. It's either that or I wear a typical baseball cap or a cowboy hat, or those are what I've got at the house.
Yeah. So. What's it feel like to be king for a day, right?
I'd like to know. Again, I pulled this out of my wife's closet. So what's that tell you?
There you go. Hey, John, tell us a little bit. I know your team's very busy back there, and you try to do an awesome job at supporting our drivers. But tell us a little bit about what your team does to support our drivers here at BCB.
Well, as a driver, when you're doing your pre-trip, your post-trip, you're sending in those DVIRs. We get those emailed right into our computer, directly popping up in front of us, letting us know we got a DVIR. We got something wrong with the equipment. We pull those up. In addition to that, by all means, you can call us. Pick up the telephone. I know telephone's kind of old school, right? I mean, it's not rotary dial, old school telephone, but those work too. Pick up the phone, call us, and report whatever you got wrong with the truck, trailer. Hopefully it's something you're dropping, so we got an opportunity to go in there and get it fixed before the next driver has to hook up to it.
Right.
Those are best case scenarios. If it's you're down on the side of the road, we take care of all that too. We're going to get somebody out to you, or we're going to direct you if it's something that you can move with, roll down the road. We're going to direct you to a proper repair location, whether that's a truck dealership or a truck stop or whatever we can work with that's going to take care of the reported issue in the best possible manner. So that's what we do. I mean, that's what we do all day, every day, 7 days a week.
And that even extends to owner-operators.
Yeah, owner-operators, we can definitely help you all out too. Doesn't matter if it's a company trailer.
Right.
if it's your truck and you need some help with getting some repairs done, hit us up. We gladly help you all out as well. So.
Awesome. That's great. Hey, tell us a little bit about what type of equipment BCB transport drivers are offered here. Tell us a little bit about the comfort and safety of our equipment.
Okay. Well, our oldest tractor right now is a 2020. And some of those will probably be going away before the end of the year. Our newer ones are 2022s, 2023s. If there's a safety piece of equipment that you can order with a truck, it's on them.
Right.
Because if anybody's never heard BCB, we are safety.
Yeah, big commitment here.
We don't just talk it, we walk it. So lane departure, rain sensors, will turn your headlights on when it senses rain. Air release fifth wheels, so not just a slide, but also, you don't want to hurt your shoulder pulling on that lever if you don't have to.
Right.
So lane departure, collision avoidance, roll stability, anti-jackknife equipment on there. I have to be careful using jackknife reduction system, whatever we want to, however you want to describe it. But if there's a safety device, it's on that truck. Comfort-wise, if there's something that comfort, we put, we don't do bare bones kind of specking of where the driver's going to live,
Right.
Because whether you're a home weekly guy or you're out for 2 or 3 weeks at a time, you're living in that truck. I mean, so we do the workstations in the back of the Volvos, so it's a little more comfortable. You got like a table. It's kind of like a cafe booth, if you will, kind of thing. It folds down, makes a bed, etc. But not all the time you're in the sleeper, you're sleeping. So you need some space that you can sit there with your laptop, or you got a TV or video machine or something. You want to do some paperwork. You want to write love letters to your spouse, whatever. You got a table and stuff you can do that with, and make it a little more comfortable.
Right.
There's TV mounts. You can put a flat screen TV up on there, and it's mounted securely, safely, so it's not flying around in the cab if you happen to.
And those things, we take that for granted, but those things are big deals when you're out there on the road, and not only are your working hours in that cab, but also your sleeping hours.
Yeah,
and that's a big deal. And it's really cool that you're constantly looking at ways to improve the experience for our drivers out there on the road. Well, I guess that's all for our time here. I know we're a little tight on time today. We're going to close with a break, and when we come back, we're going to have Scott Shapiro, Vice President of BCB, back with us.
Awesome.
Well, we're back, and we've got a surprise guest here, David Dover. He's over our success fleet here at BCB, and he's going to take Scott's place. I guess Scott was called in on something urgent. And David, I see all these exciting hats today. Tell us a little bit about yours.
It is hats off for our drivers this week, today here at BCB. So we're celebrating Driver Appreciation Week, and one of the ways we do that is we tip the cap, right? Tip the hat over to the drivers for their performance and what they do. But yeah, we just like to have a little bit different and exciting hats out here so that they get recognized and create conversation.
Gotcha. Well, David, I know you're part of your role here at BCB is to help drivers be a success here, and you monitor our success fleet.
I actually might help monitor the entire fleet. So yeah, it's more than just that, but yeah, yes. Absolutely.
Tell us about that.
Yeah, basically what we do is we measure productivity. And we basically try to find, because I'll tell you right now, we want to be successful for every driver. And the only way to do that is to maintain and continue to watch their productivity, because if you aren't getting the miles that you need, you're not going to be here very long. And if you're not going to be able to feed your family. And if you're not being as productive as you possibly can, then we're not doing our part, right? So we want to make sure that we do our part. When you out there and you're doing your part, we want to make sure our part's just equally as good. So we're working diligently behind the scenes to make sure you're getting what you need, especially in the miles, the hours running, and trying to make sure that we're doing everything we can to be successful for you.
And probably for me to better share a little bit about what you just said, you're not just monitoring a few people, you're monitoring the whole fleet. It's a success fleet is the whole fleet.
Yeah, I mean, we have two. Yeah. We're basically doing everybody. Yes. We kind of watch what we're doing, and we try to see. We break it down by DM, we break it down by truck, we break it down by fleets. We do everything we can to create success and to look at every driver to figure out what's best. And you know what? It raises red flags when drivers have been sitting too long. It raises red flags when they're down for a while. It raises red flags when there's something not being as productive as it should be.
Gotcha. Scott Shapiro often says to the drivers and to the operational team, I know when we talk to drivers that could be struggling, he'll use the term trust the process. Share with us what that means.
Well, and I think that's a great concept in that the process that we have is that we utilize not only artificial intelligence to help us better gauge and to better plan what we can do, but we also do pretty much straightforward thinking as well, and try to make sure that the drivers are planned in well, get the miles that they need, and they're planned on loads. Look, we want to make sure you get home well. We got to make sure that you're ready. When you say you're going to be ready, we got a load for you. Right. When you say you need to be home, we got to get you home. When you've got those special events that got to be taken care of, we do those as well. We make sure that we're encompassing all those things. And what we all do here is we establish a process in order to make sure that you're planned throughout the time period of the week so that you get back and you get to where you need to be.
And that all starts really, David, with the onboarding process with a very simple map we call the driver assignment.
Driver running area. Basically what it is we look at it and we try to identify a running area for the driver, and that is actually inputted into the computer so that the computer won't send them out to an area. It won't do it. Now that doesn't mean, if you're out running and you're out for a while and I say, hey, do you mind? Do you want to go over here? Do you mind? We talk, we communicate, but typically we stay within the parameters of the running area. We try to define ourselves to go where you want to go and do the things that you want to do and create, success, because everybody's formula is a little bit different for success. And we're trying to find ways to make that work for each and every driver that's out there.
Mm-hmm. Let me ask you this. We've both been working here for some time now. In your mind, what are the unique benefits that drivers enjoy working here at BCB?
Wow.
Whether it be culture, driver type, or team drivers, what is it?
Well, my huge focus here is on safety and to try to always, somebody asked me the other day, we had a vendor and they walked in and they say, so who's in charge of safety? And I said, well, I am. Yeah. And I said, you know what? You're going to get that answer from every person that you walk into because we're all responsible for safety. Right. We're all in charge of safety. So I said, you're going to get the same answer. So be careful how you want to do it. Now, if you want to go to the department, we have a department for that as well. But if you just want to ask who's responsible for who's in charge of safety, I'm going to always answer me. Yeah. And I think that's different here than anywhere else.
Take ownership.
Yeah, we want to make sure that. And I'll tell you, for me, the difference here is the community in which we create. Because I'll promise you that every driver that runs for this company knows who I am, and I know who they are. And that's saying something because, you know, even if you haven't been here a run by the office or something, you're going to see my face every day, right? You're going to see who I am, and I'm going to talk to you every day. And you'll say, well, what do you mean? Well, we create that community through the show. We create that community through the programming. We create that community because it's important to me to have a meeting with our guys, with the most important person, the driver, every single day. And that's what we do here. And I think you're going to get that uniqueness that you won't find other places. Look, do I think other places have great cultures? Yes. Do I think they have great communities? Yes. Do I think they have, you know, ways in which they can be? Absolutely. But that's not what we're talking about. I'm talking about every day. Right. I have an opportunity to meet with you. I have an opportunity to get in front of you and say, hey, look, we're working on this. Hey, we need help in this area. Hey, this is what we're doing. Hey, let's focus on this and safety. I think it's very important that be established when we talk about BCB transport, because I don't think it's done anywhere else quite like it is done here.
Right. And you know, I think a lot of that has to do with our regular ongoing safety struck shows.
Absolutely.
You know, twice a day. And
absolutely.
Also on the weekend. And, you know, David, more so too, the safety shows aren't just about safety either. I mean, it's also a pipeline of information, what's going on, relationship. And also we have fun at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, I work diligently, really hard. You can't tell it right now, but I'm actually, it's just him. He's crushing me. Most of the time I'm fun, exciting, and very entertaining. It just so happens that when I'm around Brian, it just all fades away. So I don't have it like I normally have it, you know, the fun and exciting, woohoo, day. But here it is. We do like to have a lot of fun. We do like to have excitement. There's nothing boring about safety. Safety's number one.
That's right.
But on the show, we also talk about HR has a segment.
Right.
You know, maintenance has a segment. Recruiting has a segment.
Yes.
Operations has a segment. The DMs meet with their drivers. It's pretty cool.
It's that community that you're talking about.
Yeah, we're creating relationships that count and mean something. And I'm going to tell you that it's been pretty funny and pretty awesome that that the drivers get involved in it. And then now, you know what? They stay involved and they create that involvement. And I'll get text messages and, hey, where are you at? Hey, you're running late. Or, you know, they'll hold me accountable too when I'm not right where I'm supposed to be each and every time.
Yeah, and I think that's really cool. And you know, I can tell you this, you know, from on the front end, you know, if I have a conversation with a driver and that's thinking about coming to BCB, their attitude about safety has a lot to do with them coming here.
Oh,
and
yeah.
That goes back to what you're talking about. Everybody has their role being in charge.
Yeah, you know, and I'll tell you, it's kind of a culture shock to come here. I found that out, and what's really exciting is that we all have been told out there as drivers, and I was a driver for a long time. We've all been told, "Hey, be safe."
Right.
You know, hey, be careful. Hey, watch out what you're doing. And we've all gone to those safety meetings, you know, where they have them either annually or they have them twice a year or whatever. We've all done those types of things. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about in direct involvement from the top to the bottom, from the owner,
right,
all the way down to every single person that's involved, even the maintenance guys and the guys out working out in the docks and the guys working in the shop and the guys working in the office, guys working in recruiting. Everybody's responsible and everybody gets involved in the safety program.
Absolutely. Well, man, I really thank you for coming in, and we're going to shut down here for a quick commercial break. But David, we're going to have a question and answer session coming up here. Would you mind hanging out and
throw them at me? Throw them at me. I'm ready. Hit me. Come on.
Hit us both here. Hey, welcome back to BCB, and I think we have a few questions lined up to answer. Kayla, what you got?
Hey, Brian. We had a question.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Where was? Hey, Dave. I feel like, what are you just going to come up on here and you're just going to introduce yourself to Brian and not say something to me? That's not going to work. Hi, Kayla.
I apologize.
That's okay. It's okay. I'll let it slide this once, but next time, I think I should get top billing.
I'm just really excited about these questions. We had a question come through on Facebook, Brian. Are y'all hiring load techs drivers? There's been a layoff, so several load techs drivers are in the market for a new place to be.
The answer is yes. We do have. Matter of fact, I know we've had some load techs drivers call in, and we've been talking to a few of them, and on those particular ones that have been moved our direction by load techs, and welcome their call. We're welcome their call, and they can simply call the number 817-634-2221, also known as BCB1. If they call in at that line, we'll be glad to talk to them and see what we can do.
Awesome.
Next question for me. What question you got for me?
Dave, drivers want to know, what's our Tier 1 fuel stop?
Tier 1 fuel stop is Love's. We have a program in place that it's really the big five.
Yeah.
And it's Love's, Pilot, Flying J, Petro, and TA.
Right.
And it's the big five. So, and we get discounts from all of these. But one of the main reasons is that we utilize them almost primarily is because of our relationship with these companies, and also the trust that we have in them, also to make sure that they're that there's not a lot of card skimming going on. There's not a lot of stealing out there. And I'm going to tell you right now, it's rampant in the market.
They're better prepared to handle
Yeah,
it.
and actually they monitor their systems a little bit better than the mom and pops do. So I'm just telling you, that's where we're at right now. And those big five, we handle all the time.
Great. Thank you, Dave, for answering that. We had another question come through just asking about the orientation process. So, Brian, can you tell us what that looks like?
Our orientation process is real simple. Probably one of the big advantages of our orientation process is the limited amount of paperwork that you have once you arrive. Our orientation is 1 day and 1 full day, and then we have a follow-up day where you simply take a road test, but you take it with the ELD system in place. And one of the reasons, and then our goal is to have you dispatched by 11 o'clock on the following day. But one of the reasons why we do the road test with the ELD in place, we just want to make sure that, one, you're comfortable with the circle of service that's required when you use the ELD. We want to make sure that the ELD that's going to be assigned to you is functioning correctly and that you're comfortable with using it. So that's the big reason for the second day introduction for the road test, but day and a half.
Awesome. Sounds easy peasy, Brian.
Easy peasy.
The last question I have, several have actually asked, what are the benefits that BCB offers?
Boy, benefits of BCB offers. Well, I think the first thing, if you were to ask me the biggest benefit, especially in this environment, 95% of our freight is contracted customer freight. And, a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, that was okay because the spot markets were high, they were doing real well. But in today's environment, you want to be teamed up with a carrier that truly has freight secured, and more importantly, our ability to deliver that freight safely with a reputation of being safe.
I'm also gonna jump in here because I haven't been a driver a while, and also trying to understand a little bit about what's going on. It's not just that we have technology in place here at BCB to help not only finalize decisions here for you as quickly as possible and in the best way to make them better for you. We also use technology in ways in which out there on the road to be safer, technologies and to communicate with you better. We also use technologies here that will help create genuine success for you to make more money. And Brian's right. We do have 90% freight. And what that means for you is greater opportunities and open relationship with customers. It gives us the chance to know that if we do get held up, we have a chance at resolution quickly. Also, because I can call a customer that I have, I can make that work. We also have detention times, detention modules in place that will help, because you may or may not get delayed. I hope that you're not, but it also creates better opportunities for drop and hook, especially with the amount of customers that we have. We have over a 3-to-1 ratio on trailers here for trucks and drivers. That's huge. That is absolutely huge in the market today. So we have a lot of opportunities here that you won't get anywhere else. And it really, really creates a better flowing, a better ease of moving across there. And you know what I'm talking about when you have drop and hook opportunities to get out there and get your freight and get rolling.
And I've going into the drop and hook. One of the things that I hear back from the drivers, a lot of our drop and hooks are on the pickup, and it's really nice when you can go in with an empty, drop it, and pick up a loaded trailer that's already sealed. That's huge in getting your day started.
Yeah, and it makes a difference, especially if you're moving through and you don't crush your day on the front end or the back end. We do. I'm going to tell you, there are a lot of times we also drop loaded trailers at customers.
Yes.
So we have both. So it helps out. There'll be many times that you will get a continuous deal going, dropping hooks. Do we deliver freight? Absolutely.
Yes.
Do we unload? Yes, absolutely. Do we load? Absolutely. But the opportunities there are incredible to have more because of the number of customers that we have and the drop trailers that we have at customers. So it creates a success for all and a win for all.
All right. Got another question?
That was going to be the last one, but I did have another one come through in regards to freight. Is it all no touch?
Our intention is 100% no touch. That's what I always tell people. Our intention is 100% no touch. I really haven't talked to any drivers where he's come back to me and said he's had to touch freight, but that is our intention. And so far, so good. But there's always,
Yeah, we do have 100% no touch. I'm going to answer that right out. We don't really handle, the drivers don't really handle the freight. Has a driver ever helped somebody in an instant where, yes, we have. And were they compensated for it? Yes, they were. But by design, by what we do, and every single day, the drivers' job is to deliver the freight from point A to B safely and not anything else. Most of the customers that we have unload it. I mean, they unload it and they load it prior, and the drivers have nothing to. In fact, most of them don't even count it anymore.
And you know what? Going back to our percentage of customer freight, that's what makes it more likely to achieve that 100% ratio. Is having that relationship with your customers already in place.
Yep.
Excellent. Thank you, Brian and Dave. That's all the questions that I have in for the time being.
All right, perfect.
Okay, well, I guess we'll close here. But before we close, I want to thank all our viewers. And also, again, thank you for all that you do. It's National Driver Appreciation Week. And, we couldn't live the way we live.
I mean, to tell you something, Brian, it's pretty incredible. I was sitting there talking to some class students that were about 5. I said, do me a favor, point at anything in this room.
Right.
Point at it and tell me something in your life that you've gotten in the last year that you really like, or that your parents got, or something in your house. Every single one of those things came in on a truck.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, my grandfather was his father was a farmer by trade, and used to tell him, remember where you get the food because somebody grew it, and here you go, remember where you get the items because somebody brought it.
That's right.
Every single thing that you touch, see, or feel pretty much came in on a truck.
That's right.
All right, I'll tell you what.
Well, thank you very much. And in closing, just if you're interested in applying for BCB, whether you found out about this show through LinkedIn or Facebook captions, you can apply there, or you can go to our website at www.bcbtransport.com, www.bcbtransport.com, or give us a call, 817-634-2221. 817-634-2221. Think BCB1.
All right.
Thank you for joining us.
Bye, everybody.